All right, guys. So if you've ever guessed at your cake prices or copied someone else's without knowing if you're actually making money, this prompt for ChatGPT changes everything. I asked ChatGPT for a pricing calculator that includes all the real stuff, things like ingredients, electricity, your time, actually, and packaging, and even delivery charges if that's what you want to do. Now, one thing it does also is it lets me add up charges for custom touches like, let's say, fondant or even edible prints. But the coolest part, the best part, I can set my desired profit margin, still stay within a local competitive pricing, and the pricing, which is the purpose, and saves hours of second guessing yourself. Now, the really cool trick about this is whether you're selling, let's say, a 6-inch smash cakes or even extremely elaborate 3-tiered wedding cakes, this prompt from ChatGPT that I'm going to show you here on the screen in a second helps you price confidently and profitably every single time. This is mind-blowing, and it's absolutely amazing what it can do for your home-based food business. This is part of a series I'm going to do all about how to use AI, specifically ChatGPT, as a platform for you to understand your food business, grow it, and scale it without having an enormous budget or a bunch of staff. Let's dive into this prompt right now. All right, so here is what the prompt says. I run a home-based cake business specializing in custom cakes for birthdays and weddings. Now, I want to create a small pricing strategy that covers ingredient costs, labor, time, packaging, electricity, delivery, by the way, and desired profit margins. Now, can you build me a pricing calculator template or break down what actually helps me price cakes ranging from 6-inch to 12-inch sizes with optional customizations like fondant, edible prints, and premium fillings? Please include a profit calculator that lets me adjust pricing based on local market competition. All right, so we are actually going to go ahead and take that specific prompt that I just showed you about, and I'm going to type it into ChatGPT, and let's see exactly how this pricing template feature works. So while it's creating, you can take a look here on the screen. You can see it coming up. The one thing that's really interesting you got to keep in mind when you're doing this on ChatGPT is that if you've got a cake business, no matter, or any type of food business at all, every single prompt that you begin to actually submit to ChatGPT, it'll keep that in memory. So this particular conversation, for instance, if you look right over here on the side, this one here is actually going to stay there unless you actually delete it. But that memory is really important because we're going to go through and I'm going to show you how this pricing template works. And it allows you to maintain this conversation, if you will, with ChatGPT and adjust any type of parameter without having to go to an Excel spreadsheet, without having to calculate it yourself, without really guessing. It's more precise and so on. So here is exactly the prompts, what actually spit out for our template, what the prompt gave us. Right off the bat, custom cake pricing calculator template. So you've got that on the top there. Step one is your base cake cost calculation. Now, this is going to include basic things like your ingredients, your labor time. It actually gives you a rough idea per hour, an average of $15 an hour too. All of this, by the way, is completely adjustable, and I'm going to show you how that works in a second. Your packaging could be your boxes, could be what you're actually putting it into for delivery, electricity and overhead, and even delivery if you actually are going to offer that as a service or have someone come to your house and pick it up. So if you're running a home-based cake business, this is going to be the most handiest thing you've ever seen in the world. It's going to be amazing. So right off the bat, step two, any add-on pricing. Now, this is really where you can make additional money and you can offer this to your clients or your cake customers or whoever it might be. It could be things like fondant. It could be things like edible images. And of course, it gives you a description of what that is and an average cost of what that might be to cost per additional add-on. Tiered construction. Could be stacking, labor, boards. If you've got multi-levels of cake, that's another thing you can offer. Or custom figurines. Even maybe you're making handcrafted fondant figurines from hand. Those are very, very pricey and very expensive. People do love those for like weddings and really corporate events too. So this gives you the cost feature on this side. Step three. Now the profit margin calculator. So it gives you a base. It tells you the formula. So it's going to give you an idea, the base cost, any additional add-ons times your desired profit margin. It's going to give that final price. This is the multiplier, by the way. So you can do a target margin of 30%. Your multiplier is 1.30. See, all of this does it for you. You don't have to be a mathematician, but you're still able to calculate a profitable price point. Next up, 40% and 1.4, 50%, 60, and so on. So now it gives you an example too, so you understand this fully yourself when you use this. So an example, 8-inch cake with fondant premium filling, aiming for a 50% margin. See, those are all the multiple factors that are going to go into the formula to give you that pricing. So you've got your base cost, you've got some additional fondant add-ons, total cost of 84, your final price is 84.50. And now let's go up here really quick. You want a 50% margin? Well, multiplier is 1.5. That's going to give you a retail price point of $126.75. That's it. Now, this is where the really cool stuff starts. So competitive price adjustment. Use 5 to 15% buffer to adjust based on local market prices. Now, one really cool thing, you can customize this, guys, with that prompt. By the way, I'll have the prompt down in the description section. Just open up the description. You can actually copy and paste that and put it right into ChatGPT. You don't have to memorize all this. So check out the down below. You can definitely just copy that, put it into your own ChatGPT conversation, and then customize it. So within that prompt, you can specifically say, hey, I'm in Chicago, I'm in downtown Miami, or I'm in New York City. So that way, that's where this local market pricing comes into play. Because you don't want to underprice yourself. If you're in New York City and these cakes go for $300 or $400, why would you charge $126? You should be charging around $300 or $400. Let ChatGPT know specifically where you are in the country, because that does have a big play on how you're going to price this out. So right now, this gives you an example. So if your local competitor's pricing is 110 to 120, you might want to do, and it even gives you additional information here. You might want to reduce your profit margin slightly. You can adjust your add-on pricing, anything that you want. Let me show you how to engage the ChatGPT and make it customized for you. So, great. All right. I live in New York City. Can you adjust the pricing for my local market? And I want a 65% profit margin for the 6-inch cake with, say, fondant and let's say fruit filling. So again, what I talked about in the beginning of the video is that this conversation is being memorized within ChatGPT, so it's always going to be there. So that way you can maintain this conversation. You can keep going through and adjust the price points. If you've got a different clientele, maybe different fillings, different toppings, different add-ons, you simply keep adding it and then telling it specifically what it is. What is your retail price you're trying to reach? What is the margin? And then what are your costs? And you can adjust it. So let's take a look. So absolutely, it says, let's adjust the price for 6-inch for New York City, which typically supports a higher pricing due to the elevated labor, overhead, and cost of living. So New York City. So you got a custom case pricing, 65% margin. So you've got ingredients, which are around, let's say, $10, labor, about $33, and so on. It goes all the way down to a base cost. Then your additional add-ons that we mentioned in the customizing of this prompt, specifically for you if you're in New York. It gives you a total base plus your add-ons of 85. Now you want to apply a 65% margin, not a problem. So your final price equals the cost plus your markup. That's going to be around $140 to $145. That's rounded up for clean pricing, competitive to New York City. So this is how you can create accurate, easy, simplistic methods to price the cake itself. Very simple, and it can be adjusted. It can be customized at any point in time. Just remember, you don't want to get rid of your conversation. Don't delete that, obviously, because you've already set the precedence with your prompt right here. So that prompt right there is going to be what you're going to need to give it. And then that's going to maintain this conversation all the way through. At any point in time you want to adjust it, you simply give it some different scenarios. So let's do one more scenario here, and I'll show you. We'll wrap this video up. Okay, so great. I would like to offer a catering meal, but need 3 cakes to feed 300 guests. So let's say you're the baker, you're the cake maker, but you're working with a catering business and they have an event with 300 people and they're going to need multiple cakes. I need pricing. So don't stress. Simply feed the new data, the new information, the new parameters. Give that to ChatGPT and watch this. 3 cakes to feed 300 guests. Multi-tiered 3-level cakes, no fillings, just a fondant, let's say a fondant topping with a, let's say we just want to do a 50% margin, 50% profit margin. And there you go. So again, like I mentioned, it's just simply keeping the same information from your original conversation. And now you can customize it all you want. You can customize this 1,000 times if you want. Great choice, offer 3. So it's going to reevaluate and take a look at the information. Your 3-tiered cakes, no fillings, targeted 300 guests you have, 50% margin. There you go. So it'll go right through the cakes, different levels, 12-inch if you want, 56, 9, 32. So these are different size cakes that you can use to feed 100. Then it'll go times 3, calculates all of your costs, and then goes right into your price point. You want to have that margin of around 50%. The multiplier is 1.5. So your final price for that many people is about $1,150 for 3 cakes. Serves 300 guests, adjusts because you're in New York City, labor, etc. So that's how you do it. So if you want to price cakes effectively, accurately, and you can keep it so you don't have to do spreadsheets, you don't have to calculate in your head or use calculators even, ChatGPT can do it for you. So if you have questions about this, let us know down below. If this was truly helpful, give us a big thumbs up and stay tuned because I've got a variety of other businesses, spice businesses, hot sauce businesses, baking businesses, snacks and candies. If you're doing it, there's a lot of great video that I'm going to show you how AI can make your business run efficiently and not have to have a huge budget to help you do it.